Okay, so then here we start with the boot processing for today. So tomorrow also I will tell boot processing. So yesterday and today we are trying to discuss about boot processing and different kind of stuff. And 1 second, so extra noise. Guys, here are you able to hear? Is my voice is clear or any disturbance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, so we'll start. What is this? As yesterday, so if you take a system, whether it is a laptop or a desktop or anything, so first one is you are having a power button, right? Either it is this side or top side, whatever it is, you have a power button. So when you press the power button, this power button is connected to your motherboard, right? So your motherboard, it is connected to the motherboard. So here it is front panel connections. If you press the power button, okay, so then it will turn on your SMPS. Actually, SMPS is powered by our AC power supply directly. Okay, and they like this. This is a SMPS. SMPS2. Okay, SMPS2. This connection is there already. It is power connection is given. So AC power supply 220 volts, right? 220 or 230 volts. AC power supply is there. Okay, 50 hertz frequency in India. So we are in India, so that's why it's the European standards we are following here. So if you are in other countries like a US based countries, so that their voltage level is like that. So earlier days, if you purchase a computer, then they are having an option called 110 volts and 220 volts. Both options are there. Nowadays we are getting 220 volts direct mentioned because of SMPS manufacturing for Indians. It's manufactured in India only. Okay, and frequency is a higher frequency. They are using a I think 100 hertz frequencies. Frequency also difference from there to here. For us, it's a 50 hertz frequency. That's why it is 220 volts we are using. There they use a 110 volts, but the frequencies are higher than us, like a 60 or 100. I didn't exactly remember. Okay, so this is a SMPS ATA connection or AT or ATX connections are there. So already power supply went to motherboard. Power supply went to motherboard only as a power good signal. Only power good signal is there. It means the power supply from SMPS is good. That's it. Power good signal means only power supply from SMPS is good. That is tell by your SMPS. So the power is go to your motherboard. Even if you are don't start your PC, just your connect a plug connection, switch on the plug. SMPS will get a power, and power is already there in SMPS there. So already power in the SMPS is there. Switch mode power supply. SMPS is there. So when you press the power button, when you press the system power button, then it will start your SMPS. It will start your SMPS. Okay, so it will switch on your SMPS. If you press the power button, it switch on your SMPS. SMPS start giving a power supply to your motherboard. Again, I'm repeating. You are connected a connection, plug connection is there. So power go to SMPS from AC. When you press the power button, system power button, SMPS power on, SMPS power on, and the power is distributed to your motherboard and other devices. Other devices means hard disk, CD-ROM, DVD-ROM, SSDs. What are the things you use it? So the power supply go to that devices. Every device will get a power supply, not turn on, but just a power supply is go to every device like this. SMPS connections. This is a data connection from here. Okay, this is the power connections. Power supply to this one, power supply to your motherboard also, your processor like that. Okay, this is a power connection. So power is distributed to everyone, and SMPS will generate a power good signal. It means power SMPS is running. All power supply means plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, um, um, plus 5 volts, minus 5 volts, 3.3 volts. Everything is good. That is called a power good signal. It means power supply is on. Okay. Next, once everything is get power supply. No, usually we are taking attendance, right? So we are taking attendance. We're taking attendance. So right. So like this. What is this attendance means? See, people are attended. So like that we understand. We are taking attendance means the people are attending. So one side I will tell attendance means you are came to class and you said like, yes, sir, I am present, right? So for example, Rohit came, Rohit, sir, I am present. Rohit, I am Rohit, I am present. Aniket came. Aniket said, I am present. Sai Teja came. I am present. Or maybe Pramod came and, sir, my name is Pramod. I am present. Okay. So like that, every person is telling their details. Like that, in a system also, once power supply is distributed to every device, like a including your CPU, RAM, and your BIOS chipset and other chipsets, okay, and other connectors. So when power is distributed to everyone, so they will tell to your motherboard, sorry, to your BIOS chip, we are attended. This is our details. Okay, this is our details. Like a CPU will tell to your BIOS, this is CPU and this is my information. This is my i3 processor, third generation, i3 processor, fourth generation, and what are the clock speed, what is the cache memory. That information go to BIOS. Okay, RAM, tell RAM details to BIOS. This is my RAM, DDR4 RAM, 8 GB RAM. Okay, and model number, like that. That information go to your BIOS only. Just like when you press the power button, power is distributed to every device. Once they got a power distribution, they'll tell information to your BIOS. BIOS won't check it, so they will tell information to your BIOS. And BIOS also having a pre-information about your motherboard. Okay, like that. So BIOS in at the BIOS, they will everybody will give an attendance list. It means this is the device and I am working. Okay, what is the device and working status? What is the device? Device information. What is the device and device information and working status? Understand? So that information go to your BIOS. Then BIOS confirms every device is connected and working. BIOS confirms every device is connecting and working. And also it make sure that that information is given to CPU. So once it is got the information, the first information loaded to CPU is BIOS information only. So CPU get a basic information. Okay, this is the start running, the process running by CPU only. BIOS chipset only for store the information and confirm the information. Okay, store the information and confirm the information, load the information. That's it only. No program, nothing. Just it will tell how to start. That's it. BIOS chipset will tell how to start and verify the devices are connected. What devices are connected, their information and status. That's it. Okay, CPU will load those program. BIOS program start bootstrap program. Actually, we call that one as a bootstrap program. Load it to your CPU. CPU start running. Confirm that every device is running. For example, just for example, I didn't insert a RAM. My RAM is not working. So one condition is either I didn't insert a RAM, or RAM is there but RAM is not working, or RAM is loose connection or dust formation. So RAM is not functioning. So BIOS understand some device is not working or RAM is missing because it's a primary memory and it's a primary device. It generate a beep sounds actually. Your boot process is failed. At initial condition only, boot process is failed. So the overall process, the starting process, it means, again I'm repeating, when you power on, power is distributed to all the devices and make sure that every device is running properly. So this we call it as a post. The first one is post. Anybody having idea what is a post? You already heard that one, right? Arun, what is post?
Don't know, sir.
Very good. Good, that's a good one. And next, Fayaz, what is post? Or anybody having an idea what is post?
Power on self-test.
Very good. Power on self test. What is self test? Testing itself.
Testing.
Testing itself only. Okay, when you power on the PC, when you power on the PC, automatically PC test itself every device is working or not. Every device is getting power and working or not. So they will give you attendance to your BIOS chipset. Actually, CPU learns that information, but still we are talking in a BIOS manner only. So CPU verifies the code loading, but important is when you power on your BIOS chip is nothing but a firmware will tell you how to function the system, right? So your distribution of power is normal, okay? Power distribution, power on. Once devices get power on, it will inform your BIOS chipset, and BIOS chipset confirm every device is working. Just for example, okay? Just for example, your RAM is not connected, or maybe usually RAM related issues maybe you've seen in generally in a normal hard disk. So RAM is loose connected or dust formation or maybe RAM not working. So automatically it throw an error. It stop the boot processing, means post failure. This is called a post failure. For example, a device is not working, RAM not working, or loose connection, or not inserted. Anything, CRT, CERT, anything we can. Not inserted, RAM not inserted. It means post failure. Post failure, or we can say boot failure. Boot failure. CPU is not working. RAM or a CPU. RAM, CPU. These are the main devices, right? So RAM, CPU devices are not connected or not working or a thing. Automatically, the post failure. When post failure means next phase won't work. It means automatically it start up only boot failure. How to understand a post failure thing? How to understand a post failure thing? Very simple. When you start the PC, backside fan is running. It means SMPS running. Backside SMPS fan is running means SMPS is working. and you can see power LED. The power LED is running. It means power is there. So one is SMPS fan running. It means SMPS on. Okay. Power LED. Only power LED I'm talking. Power LED. That power LED is glowing. It means system is running. Okay. So in these two condition, power supply no problem. Power supply no problem. This is entirely troubleshooting. Troubleshooting and brute processing. I'm combinedly telling this one. That's why I said a 15 to 30 minutes. Okay. So SMPS running and this power LED running. It means what happened. So what we things we have to observe. Can you if you see the keyboard, normal system, if you see the keyboard having a three LEDs are on the keyboard, right? So it will glow and off. Once it glow and off. Once it glow and off automatically. So LED on off once only. It means post is successful. Meaning is post successful. You will understand that is post successful. Okay. No LED glowing. Glow means not once, like it's not at all. No LED glow. No. It means not at all. Not at all glow means glow and off not happen. It means we can understand post fail. We can understand post fail. Another one is on display. It means on your screen, on your display or a screen. So what are the things we call? Guys, why I'm telling multiple words? At time of interview or at time of any discussion, people use a different names. So then maybe some people tell display as a terminal. Terminal means at your end. Okay, that's a screen what you see, that is called also a terminal. So different names does not mean that is something is different. Everything is same here. Okay, on display or a screen, you can't see anything. No display. No display. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. It is a completely a blank screen. It's a blank screen or a black screen. Some will say black screen. Black screen means like empty. When you start your PC on system, on monitor, only company, the monitor company logo it will shows, not a your BIOS or any HP, Dell, like that. It is not showing that one. It shows only a blank screen. That's it. Nothing, no display, not at all display. Nothing is there. In that time, we can also understand post failure. If in case display is not connected, understand display is not connected, then it is shows display not connected. It is showing no connection. If display, it means your monitor not connected. Okay, or VGA, problem with your VGA or AGP. VGA or AGP problems means graphic card or a graphic memory problems. Okay, not connected or a problem. Okay, so that time on the screen, on display, on screen it shows monitor, monitor on screen is showing monitor not connected or no signal. So in this condition it shows like this. If it is showing a blank screen, it means it's not showing not connected, no signal kind of stuff. It means your BIOS failure. It's simple to understand. One is power is there, but this condition, it means post failure. So normally in that condition, if you call to the technician, what he will do, he'll open the cabinet, remove the RAM and clean up the RAM and reinsert it. Why they are targeting always a RAM? Means RAM is the only one device which is loosely connected, means it is connected very openly. CPU is a very close connection, RAM is a very open connection. Okay, so that's why they targeted a RAM. Even lot of dust in your room also, and if dust go to your computer, but dust won't go to generally to the CPU. Dust maybe on your heat sink and fan, but dust won't go inside your CPU because it's very closed one, not open one. No, it is won't expose to outside because it's a super hot kind of stuff, right? And RAM is inserted directly into the slot and no enclosure for that one. So due to that one, it is a possible dust go to inside. So that's why they are cleaning up. Understand when post will failure. CPU, RAM, and these are a primary devices. If hard disk is not connected, no problem. Your boot will be run. It won't load operating system, but booting is running. Means system is on at least. Something on a screen. Something on a screen it will shows. One by one, issues also will go. Okay. First. Okay. Now, what is a power on self test? System test itself when power is on. So make sure that every device is running. System or a PC or a desktop, whatever it is, system test itself. Make sure every device connected and running. Okay. If any device, if any device, like main devices, like primary devices, like CPU and RAM, is a main primary devices, not connected or not running, or not running, not connected or not working, they are loosely connected. So in this condition, so you will get a post failure. So example, CPU, RAM not connected or not running like this, it's a possible post fail. Post fail means initial stage only, boot failure. Initial stage only, boot failure. How to check it? Make sure that SMPS power on is there. Keyboard, mouse, display screen, and monitor like this. Okay. So on screen monitor not connected, no signal if it is in that condition. Next, post successful. Post is successful. Then what is the next stage? Next stage we have to check the next stage. So in your BIOS initialize. So what is this initialize spelling? This is the thing. See, if this is I'm missing. That's why I'm getting a doubt. Initialize. Okay, initialize MBR. I'm talking in MBR manner. MBR or GPT. So you can use MBR or a GPT. Initialize MBR or a GPT. So in BIOS also it stores MBR information. Okay, in BIOS the bootloader information means where is MBR, where is your MBR that stores in your BIOS, where is MBR. Okay, initialize MBR, so it BIOS stores information about where is the MBR or GPT. So where is your MBR or GPT? In your hard disk only, right? So it load MBR, it take the MBR, it will load. So actually it initialize the MBR or GPT, okay, from MBR. So this MBR or a GPT tell us tells where is bootloader, okay. So it initialize MBR GPT and finds where is a bootloader. What is this bootloader? You can with spaces, without spaces also, bootloader is bootloader only. Different bootloaders are there, depends upon operating system, okay. So it depends upon bootloader, depends on operating system, what operating system you are using. Different names are there. So name of the bootloaders in a different OSs. First one, Windows, uh, Windows XP, and earlier Windows XP and earlier of Windows XP, bootloader name is NTLDR. That's why if you are checking in a Google search about boot processing, you can see NDLDR, NTLDR it is showing. Now the bootloader name from Windows Vista 7, Vista 7, 8, 8.1, mainly from 7, we talk about 7 only. So Windows 7 onwards. This is bootloader name is BOOTMGR, means boot manager. BOOTMGR, boot manager is a bootloader in a Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10. Okay, if you take Linux, guys, what is a bootloader for Linux?
LILO.
LILO, very good. Okay, Linux in, Linux out, Linux in, Linux out. This is the Linux bootloader, but we are not using LILO. LILO is a bold style or another kind of Linux. We are using enterprise Linux, right? We are using a enterprise Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Saint OS, like that. So what is a bootloader? Another bootloader name. LILO is common in Linux, all other type of Linuxes. But another bootloader is in Linux, mainly enterprise Linux. Red Hat Enterprise Linux or a Saint OS if you take it. Mainly latest versions, means 5, 6, 7, 8. Another name for a,
Loading.
what it is?
I think loading, sir. LOADIN.
I didn't get.
Sir, I think Linux loader.
Linux loader. No, 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 no. I will tell. Okay, it's okay. So, no problem. GRUB. Current version of GRUB is GRUB version 2. Current version is GRUB version 2. GRUB. GRUB is a bootloader. GRUB hub is there. So GRUB is a multi bootloader. You can see GRUB G RAND Unified Bootloader, which is originally designed implement enriched Brian. Okay, hard or a Linux kernel we are using. Okay, so GRUB is become legacy later on days in a GRUB. Okay, GRUB GNU GRUB. This is a GRUB is a bootloader. It is runs first. So your boot processing start means after post your BIOS or GPT, means your BIOS or UEFI, BIOS or UEFI. Okay, initialize what type of it is MBR or a GPT type what we are using. So that is, which is find out where is the MBR and GPT records. In that one, it load the bootloader. The bootloader is depends upon your operating system. So if you are using XP and earlier we call it as NTLDR, and the new versions we are using in Windows, that is a BOOTMGR only. Okay. uh, Windows Server 2003 and earlier, also NTLDR, both for both the things. Means 2003 months Windows Server, 2008 onwards, is a boot MGR only. LILO is a, yes, Linux in Linux out. This is a one of the bootloader, and in a GNU manner, so enterprise Linux now we are using. So most of them having a is a bootloader. Okay, so this is the bootloader. It load the bootloader. So how our BIOS knows where is the bootloader? It means in BIOS. And we are generally talking in BIOS manner only. BIOS or UEFI both are same. In BIOS, okay, in BIOS we have a boot priority. So as per the boot priority, so like a boot priority, first priority is the CD-ROM, next is hard disk, next is network, next is a USB. For example, first it will verify the boot information from CD-ROM, and CD-ROM, no CD-ROM, nothing is there. Then it will go to the hard disk. Then it will go to the network. Then it will go to like this. So first, as per a priority, where it is found, it will load like that only. By default, your hard disk is a by default boot devices. So that is in boot priority. It will understand that one. Of course, your hard disk having an operating system. BIOS knows where is the operating system from BIOS. Post BIOS. So then bootloader. Bootloader load into your RAM. So what happened? Bootloader. Here I take a boot MGR. Load into RAM first. Bootloader load into your RAM. So RAM extract your bootloader and find out where is your operating system. Finds your bootloader will tell operating system details and where is the operating system. Then from bootloader, so it will understand where is the operating system and load OS into RAM. Into RAM means RAM to processor again. It load into RAM, RAM to processor, processing and showing on the display. Load into RAM, load OS into RAM. Now OS is loaded. OS means first the kernel is loaded, then remaining things. Kernel drivers. OS is loaded. Meaning is it load first kernel and drivers, device drivers. Load the kernel and drivers, then it is going to load all your shell part. Means other things. Load kernel and shell first, and then it will work with your shell. So it load kernel and shell. Now voice is booted and you got a screen, login screen. You will get a login screen, right? So login screen you are getting, or sign in, login, sign in, both are same. Login screen. So you given a username and password. You given a username and password, and you do authentication. You do authentication. Once it is authentication is done, okay. So when it is loaded, your voice is loaded, right? First voice is loaded. So first it will load the OS, and then it load system based services. After that, when OS is loaded, system based services, system based process, system related processes. Okay, services, it will load it. Then it load applications. User will get authenticated and it load your application, means startup applications, user base applications. Load user base services, startups, process and applications will load it. For example, if I start my PC, after I log in, once I sign in, my startup, means this one will run my music, network connections, music, means speaker, mic, network connection, battery connection. These are all startups only. It will run automatically. The services, applications run automatically. So that is run like this. So this is about your boot processing. Then manually, whatever you work, you will work it. Okay. So it run the services, startups, and process and applications. What are the dependents on it? So this is the your boot processing. So if you got shut it, so first one is post power on self test. When you power on the system, power is, if whenever you power on the system, power is distributed to your system, and it will test itself every device is working or not, and what are the device details is verified with your BIOS chip. That is what firmware. Post is not a program. Post is a acronym. Means based on what happens, the based on that we will put a acronym. Like last time we got a Tufan, like some Sandy Tufan or some names are there, no, for Tufan. How their names? Because the how Tufan is forming depends upon the area. So then we'll put a that Tufan name. Like same thing is like it's a acronym. Means so based on the process what happened, they put a that name. So it is post is not a program. Post is a acronym because when you power on itself, test is going on. Once power on self test is completed, it initialize your MBR record. So where is the MBR? It find the MBR record and find out where is the to MBR record. It find the bootloader. Okay, so bootloader will tell you, bootloader will tell you where is your main operating system files located. Means bootable files are located. Actually, we have to sell operating system, means bootable files of operating system loaded first, and then it load the remaining things. So it extract the bootloader and find out operating system and bootable files and load the kernel and load the operating system and operating system boot files. Okay, boot files, bootable files, then main kernel and drivers, then it is remaining things will loaded into the system. So once system is loaded, it display the login screen. Okay, so and you give a username and password, it will authenticate and it start your startups, services and process applications. It will start the remaining things. Start your startups, applications, default application. Startups are applications. It will start services and process, background process. These things, everything will be startup. Very simple, guys. When you a question you got it. What is a post? Power on self test. Okay, so what is the boot processing? When you power on the system, power is distributed to every device, and power is distributed to every device, and the system test itself, every device is functioning properly, connected, not connected, not working. So this will be tested. So that process we call as a power on self test. Next, once power on self test is done, next phase is MBR. So system locate where is a MBR, and MBR is located in hard disk, right? So located where is a MBR based on a boot priority. So locate the MBR and find out where is a bootloader. Bootloader, once it is loaded, bootloader will tell you where is the bootable files, operating system files, and then it load kernel, shell, kernel drivers, everything into the system. Once operating system is loaded, so then operating once OS is loaded, then it will display the login screen. So give the username and password. Then we will get authenticated. So which user is login based on users, startups, application services, and background process will start. So this is the simple boot processing. Okay. So only thing is difference between your Windows and Linux or Unix bootloader. Only thing is bootloader is difference. Okay. So this is, guys. I will give you one question, that is, what is live OS? What is real real time OS? I think you guys are knows. Guys are maybe already told this one. So what is a live OS? What is real time OS? Okay, find out what it is, guys. If you do as I said, definitely you are much better than you are in your working environment also. I'm promising that. Learning is a process. Learning should not be stopped. Other things may be today, may not be next time. Okay. So when I was in a college, I watched